Good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning. And we are really having some fun, starting to learn some new stuff. So, got the schedule down. And we're starting to stream in several places. So, morning with Self, waking up with Master Shane. And preparing for a beautiful day. Alright, getting set up. That's pretty cool. Step by step, brick by brick, we can build our temple in life, and we can build a very beautiful temple. So here we are. It's a new day. It's a new self. And breathing, being here. Getting into the meditation, being able to lead into the silence, into the breath. There's something inside of that. All right, I know that noise goes on there. So doing what you need to do, doing this show, this is what Shane needs to do. And being able to continue with that commitment and follow through. What are the intentions? And things can be changed. We can change. Though not making a choice and not making a decision can be the worst thing at many times if it leads to hesitation, if it leads to stagnation. So really identifying when we're stuck in life so that we can get unstuck. And we're building the dream team. We're building the dream team and being able to be here for those who are open, willing, and ready to receive, to really start to move and shake in life. Okay, because we're here for a purpose. We're here for a reason. And the mind is a very beautiful thing. It can be a best ally in a lot of different ways as we awaken the master within, as we become the master, and we start to identify that we're already manifesting, we're already creating. So the part is, what are we manifesting? What are we creating? Because the law of attraction doesn't come into effect when we just learn about it. It's not when we become aware of it that the law of attraction applies in our life. The law of attraction applies in our life regardless of whether we're conscious of it or we're unconscious of it, whether we believe in it or we do not believe in it. There are certain natural laws of the universe that we all abide by. And the law of attraction is one of them. Cause and effect, these are things that we're learning here on this plane of existence. So we've been attracting our whole lives. We are a point of attraction in itself. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm an attraction. I'm a very beautiful attraction. And understanding, becoming more conscious of what we're inviting in our life, of what we're bringing in our life. We talked about this in another stream, and really understanding what are we really truly looking for? What are we really truly inviting inside of our lives? Because if we're complaining about stuff and we're inviting that into our life, well, that's a great teaching for us to be able to learn on how to change that. If we're unhappy with that, if the results, and that's a huge thing, speaking to somebody. And that's the great thing of speaking to people and learning a lot of different things, is that there can be some fear in making a choice because you don't know the consequences that are with that choice. But is that getting too analytical, and is that stepping too much out of the trust? Because there are a lot of trust issues, and it's not about trusting other people, it's about trusting yourself. It's about, and I understand that's why I'm here, is to be able to help, as I've built a cocoon around myself, and to be able to step away from society, step away from people, to really know what's going on inside of me, to really know what I'm here to do, regardless of what anybody else says. So that gives me a lot of different reference points than always being in the presence of other people. It gives you that space to really understand your thoughts, to really understand your emotions inside, and become more aware of that and how that's affecting your reality, your experience of reality. And so that's what we're doing here with Morning with Self, waking up with Master Shane, and waking up and raising our consciousness. Because the problem is not the problem in which we think. So we have to be very careful if we're walking around talking about problems and telling everybody else about so-called problems. What are we really creating, and what are we inviting in our life? Are we inviting chaos into our life and then complaining about the chaos inside the world, inside us, really? And being able to make choices in life without hesitation. Just be it. Just be it. Right? But that clarity of who you really want to be, that's part of the spiritual work. So there's spiritual work to be done. Spiritual work that is done. It's through the progressive realization of that. And that brings many beautiful things. Much more than just what pleasure seeking and avoidance of pain can. Because there's a lot of things that we can get caught up in. And that's one of them, is pleasure and pain. It's been part of my journey, is to be able to put that aside and to really work towards something that's more fulfilling, something that's really going to give an everlasting happiness, an everlasting joy. And that's what I help with spiritual consultations and energy healing. That's what's really amazing. When you start to really develop your presence, develop your consciousness, not only are you becoming more useful, but life becomes a lot more enjoyable as you stop fighting, as you stop creating conflict and tension. And this is part of our healing journey here, as we start to become more conscious and more aware of what we've been doing. Maybe we've been causing harm without realizing it. Are we able to take responsibility? Are we able to admit that we were wrong in our thinking, and that our thinking, and that not we're wrong in the sense of what we might think of, like good and bad and right and wrong, but wrong in the sense of, if I was looking for a particular consequence, a particular outcome, and I didn't get that, well, and if I still make the same choices expecting a consequence that doesn't create that, well, that's a wrong approach. It doesn't, clearly it's not working out that way in our experience. If certain choices are bringing certain things, we need to start to look at our choices in life. And it's incredibly important to get in a right state of mind to be able to make solid choices in life. In poker, we have this thing called tilt, where somebody's on tilt, where somebody is so emotional that they make irrational, just really out of context choices and decisions that they wouldn't normally make if they were at a much more peaceful, calm state. And we can develop that peaceful, calm state. That's part of our healing journey, to be able to become stronger and wiser, stronger and wiser, and providing service here daily for everybody, so that there is something out there that only Shane can do, because we're one of a kind, and we're not a commodity. We're such a great asset as we develop our consciousness and become very, very useful, become very, very present in the moment, make peace with a lot of things that have happened. We're incredibly, incredibly powerful. And when we really, really take on our healing journey, well, it's something that ripples through all space and time. So not only can it be very beneficial to this place and time, but all is connected. It all ripples through everything. And that's a very powerful thought. Understanding the degrees of influence, that we're all connected. I mean, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And that's a lot of people. And we have a way bigger influence than what we think, even on an unconscious level as well, too. Just our presence as well. I know that my presence it's very beneficial. And that's because I've been developing myself in meditation. I've been developing myself in my own studies and really learning on how to take care of myself, how to take care of my emotions, how to take care of my thoughts in such a way that I can start to think for myself. I can start to think about different things and to see, and play with it myself, and really get a good sense of it. And a good grasp and understanding of things, and things that are going on in life, and being able to be at a good point where I can feel a lot of things. And so I built a lot of trust inside of myself, and trusting my intuition, trusting that, really, as I've been realizing, like I've been feeling things my whole life. And it's just been confusing because others may not have understood this. It's when we get on tilt and we get filled with so many emotions, it can hamper our decision making, and it can lead to spiritual sickness. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying I cure anything or anything, but there's energy healing. There's a spiritual healing. It can be very, very powerful. I know it has been for me. And it's not to say that science is not useful, because physically speaking, I wouldn't be here without the medical field. It's been a great blessing in my life of having those services as well. But on the same side of it as well too, I wouldn't be here most likely if it wasn't for a lot of spiritual healing, because that's what's brought me through a lot of different things that science was not able to. Like there's a part that if it's not understood, it's just ignored in a way. It's unexplainable. And, you know, a doctor is an opinion. It's somebody's advice. It's counseling with somebody, getting medical advice. And that's important. But it's also understanding that it's counsel, it's advice. And there's a part where we have to learn to take care of ourselves and to make good choices. There's a part of our own understanding where we kind of can understand certain things and what's going on and how to really take care of ourselves. This is a teaching that's come to me that is going to take a little bit of a time to work on this, because this is a really comprehensive understanding and teaching in what we're all involved here in this world, in this life. And it's not just a physical sense. This is the essence of healing holistic being. And taking care of our spiritual needs, taking care of our spiritual journey here and the lessons that we're here to learn, because there are unknown parts of life, and healing doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be healthy per se. Now, there's a part of not wishing ill and getting to the point where you wouldn't wish that. You wouldn't wish a lot of things upon other people that you wouldn't want to go through. And that's part of the healing journey. But healing is about making sound and restoration of one's wholeness. So sometimes things do happen. Unfortunate things do happen in life, because there's just so many variables and different things that we're learning on our consequences and our choices. And we live in a world where we're all entangled within each other. So, and it's not about placing blame. It's not about placing shame, because those are things that come back to us at one point in time, if not in the moment, if we meet that one who can be that clear vessel on that truth and not take that on and be able to call that bluff. Because you have to know when to hold them, and you have to know when to fold them, and know when to call people's bluff, because people bluff a lot. And that's good. But we don't need to bluff so much, because there's a light inside of us that we can build the security inside ourselves. We can build the trust inside of ourselves. And the world is our oyster, as they say. So how are we developing that pearl inside of ourselves? That's a beautiful teaching, acres of diamond, and understanding. That's what are we looking for, and where are we going? Where are we searching for that? Because that's a great teaching in that story, and that it's been here all along, that we do have enough resources. We have everything that we need to take that next step right here. So it's not about saying you don't have this. It's not about saying you don't have that. That's just going to keep you stuck in life. It's about making peace with the past. Okay, how are we moving forward? That's some of the things we're getting into with Healing Holistic Being. The Healing Holistic Being Temple is really creating a solution-focused consciousness. Because if we're just talking about so-called, so-perceived problem, well, at what point does that become harmful in recreating that so-called perceived problem or issue in life? And how do we really take care of ourselves as adults so that we don't have so many problems in life? Do we need to have so many issues in life? There's a lot of tools for us. A lot of great men and women have contributed to this world. And so we have different things like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, this is a very helpful model to work with and to play with, and to use that to gain different understandings inside your life of being able to take care of your physical needs. So then you can start to take care of higher needs. And how well is this implemented? Because they're all one and the same as well too. So there's a part of working with it in all the needs in a way, and working towards fulfilling the spiritual needs. Because as you fulfill the spiritual needs, you can as well take care of the physical in a lot of different ways. Because a lot of times, I'm not saying a lot, but getting into the obsession of a so-called perceived problem, an issue, that can recreate, that can grow that. Because whatever we focus on grows. Our attention is very, very powerful. So the point is, how do we develop our mind, get out of the monkey mind, and be able to start to really get focused in building the core message about ourselves, about our own selves as a brand, as something that's much more than a commodity, a one-of-a-kind expression of the divine, of the infinite. What is our core message? That's what it's about, finding yourself. And I have a podcast that's on Anchor, Google, Apple, and all that. We're going to be getting some more episodes up on there. And that's a very, very beautiful platform to be able to use, and to be able to express and to create certain things. So I'm creating a series on finding yourself, and this is what it's about. This is part of my healing journey of what I have done, and so it's part of my contribution that I feel I can give, that I ought to give. This is something I've been talking about on the phone and different things with people, and it's just so incredible of where we are and what we have. And this goes into practicing contentment in being content in the moment, and also being thankful for what you have. And what you have may be more than what you think. But we also have a lot that we have that we know in our thoughts. So there's a lot of thankfulness to those who have also sacrificed for us to have these things. That's part of the healing journey. So there's a lot of spiritual work for us to do. And that's part of the reason for this show and for this thing is to provide daily service and to help people to wake up with Master Shane, because the time is now. The place is here. We have everything that we need to be able to grow spiritually, to be able to raise our consciousness, because that's what this is about. It's about ascension. It's about whatever you want to call it. It's raising our consciousness. And it's being able to not only be a holistic being, but be healing, be truly healing. And we're going to start to learn about what it is to be truly supportive and to truly recover, because this goes into healing. And it's like when something happens, something unfortunate happens. Now, it's not saying that I wish this upon anybody, because I don't wish unfortunate things upon people. But, at one point in time, I unconsciously did. And maybe I do at this point too, unconsciously in different ways. That's part of building that strong spiritual practice and being open and being willing to change one ways, to be able to admit that, hey, I had some wrong thinking because it's not in alignment with my intention, with what I want to bring into my life. So it wasn't congruent with my expectations, my goals for myself. I choose to do no harm. So when I'm thinking in a way that causes harm, well, I realize, okay, that was wrong with what I'm trying to achieve here. And I can change that. I can, okay, like, because the complexities of it and the depths of that can be very, very big. And it's not to get us into a hesitant state, but understanding that's part of the great lessons, that's part of the great enrichment of this experience here. And there's always things to learn. That's what's always helped me, even when I've been on my deathbed. The spiritual teachings, the spiritual nourishment of hope in a way. Oh yeah, of hope. Of yeah, things not only can things change, but things will change. And finding that peace inside of painful experiences or experiences that you don't know how you're going to get out of, because we don't necessarily need to know how we're going to get out of things or how we're going to get things. That's part of the great teachings of this plane of existence, of this life here. It's about trusting that light inside, being able to know that light inside, and being able to know that if you call it forth in your life and you can make a commitment and you follow through, that you can be brought to where you need to be. That you don't have to do it alone. There's a power, there's a source inside of you. The universe wants to get out of your way. The universe doesn't want to be in your way. We're in our own way. And if anybody is in our way. And so I've been realizing this with myself and how I've been in my own way. And being our own critic. I mean, our own worst enemy, because there are no enemies. There are no enemies. We're here to help each other. First, we have to start helping ourselves and beginning to understand how we're putting ourselves down. And maybe it's from programming from others, but as an adult, we're here to grow up. And not only just grow up physically speaking, but grow up spiritually, to mature spiritually, to not be so emotional, to be able to know how to take care and manage our emotions, put ourselves in the right state of mind and consciousness at that certain time. And there are a lot of things going on, right? When you're in environments where it's very dense and it's hard to think. I mean, you can step into different rooms, and if there's been arguments or tension and different things, that can be felt, and that can be more difficult to focus in. If there's a disruption in that room. And so there's a lot of things that may have happened in the past, in the so-called past, in our childhoods and everything. This is what I want to be able to help with. So maybe we create some type of, I'm looking at creating different types of support groups and sharing true support and really creating safe places for people. This has been my lifelong dream, that I've realized that what I've wanted as a child is a safe place to find myself. And it can be kind of rare in this world. Even though there are a lot of places that intend and want to be safe, supportive places, what is support and what are we supporting? It's taking it to the next level, raising the consciousness. What is the intention? And are we creating the necessary environment, process to be able to fulfill that? And are we really happy with our life? This can be an interesting question, because we have a lot of things that we can get lost in, which brings us back to finding ourselves, to going without certain things. That's what I've done, is I put myself in certain situations to find that happiness and that joy inside of ourselves. I've let go of always stimulating my mind, and I've always been interested in books and reading knowledge from others. And so there is that, but it comes through a lot of realizations. It comes through a lot of choices where enough is enough. I don't want to suffer anymore. It's realizing like I am suffering, and that I know that's part of it as well too, because that's, as the Buddha taught, the first understanding that life is suffering, that there's suffering in life. And if you don't know that, then you think ignorance is bliss. But yet that does not compare or touch to the eternal bliss that's within, because at one point it's a temporary feeling. You're getting caught in the pleasure and the pain of life. which is part of the attachment of life. There's pleasure and pain, but it doesn't mean that it has to be your ultimate experience. There's something beyond that, right? Well, there's different types of pain. There's pain as in like soreness, that type of pain. That's not necessarily sharp pain, which can be very, very beneficial when one moves past that, because past that pain is who you really want to become. It's getting past that comfort zone, being able to train the body, being able to train the mind and the brain to think for itself. There can be pain in that in ways when you start thinking and start creating neurological pathways that you haven't created before. Well, there can be some new feelings, kind of like when you worked out and you haven't worked out in a while, you start feeling the soreness of different muscles, which is good. And looking at that in a certain way can inspire you to push yourself even more, to understand that you're growing, and that's a part of life, and that's how we blossom in life. And when we meditate and blossom and bring forth wisdom and understanding, that's some sweet, sweet stuff. Beautiful fragrance. Beautiful fragrance for everybody to be around. That makes this world a beautiful place. So this world is a beautiful place. If we look for the beauty, seek and you shall find, right? So what are we truly looking for, and what are we truly bringing into our life? Are we looking at that speck on the window and missing the whole sunrise? So what are we looking for? The glass is either half empty or if it's half full. And that's the part of counting your blessings, because you are a blessing. Life is a blessing, and that's all we have are blessings. There's no guarantee in life. Nothing to hold on to. It's all changing. It's all changing. You have to pay attention. You have to notice things. Be able to give yourself time to just sit without the need of external stimulus, but focusing inside of your own body. You get lost in discussions. But what do you really need to do right now? In identifying who you really want to be. And then what's that person doing right now? And do we need to be doing a lot of things that we're doing? Because being is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Learning on how to feed ourselves. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's part of the fulfillment in life. When we start to learn to really take care of ourselves and learn to feed ourselves in life. There's a huge opportunity with all of this technology and everything to be able to build a life that others have only dreamed about, right? To be able to make a living in a lot of different ways where you don't have to work in an environment that you don't want to work in. I feel this is a very, very big thing. because in a lot of different places, this is a huge thing of attracting people who really, really want to work. Because we have all these workplaces and the understanding, and this is something that I can do as well too, is to help businesses clear the environment and clear the toxicity of the environment. Understanding that if you have a toxic environment, it can be very difficult to be in. You have to be very strong inside yourself. And you could be causing a lot of chaos and a lot of harm, not only to other people, but to the business as well too. There's a certain part, I've been here building a temple and learning on how to build a temple. So I'm really excited to begin my travels and to begin building other temples. And it's important to protect in a way, like we have to protect this house, because people will come in and they will try to control it. They will try to damage things because they're on tilt, they're emotional. It's not necessarily because they're a bad person. There's a light inside of everything. There's a source inside of everything. And so there's not that type of bad, because maybe you think that person is a bad person, but maybe in a different role, in a different part, somebody thinks that person is amazing. And maybe they do a good job here and they could do a good job there, but maybe they're not strong in that area, and that's the only area you're looking at them at. Changing our perspective, this raises our consciousness, brings more humbleness and forgiveness and compassion to us as we peel and reveal the layers of our stubbornness, of our ignorance as humans, thinking that we know it all, thinking that we know better than other people. We're all on our own healing journey. We're all figuring it out here. We're here to help each other. And so this is how I'm able to help, to be able to share the healing journey of Master Shane and to be a testament and to be an inspiration to those who are open, willing, and ready to take the next step on their healing journey. I'm very grateful for the testimonies in my life that I've sought and that I've found that have really inspired me to, and motivated and helped me get through some really dark times in my life where I didn't know how I was going to get out, where I didn't know a lot of different things. And that's okay, because we have the courage and we have the strength inside of ourselves to be able to not feed worry, to not feed that what if, worst case scenario type of thing, to be able to take the reins and to be like, no, we're going over here. We're going over here. We're going to a beautiful place. We're going to paradise, utopia, heaven, the promised land, whatever you want to call it. There is a promise in life. There are certain laws. And if we develop ourselves, we can open up some incredible, incredible doors. And that's part of life as well, too, is getting out of our house and being able to open doors and be invited to places and to share our gifts to the world. And that's what I want to do with Meditate and Blossom, the 21-point meditation. We're really getting into activation and an understanding of Meditate and Blossom, of bringing forth wisdom, being able to learn our lessons well and grow and mature spiritually, because there is a great awakening going on right now with all these tools and all these things. This is allowing us this time and this space to be able to open our minds, to be able to open our hearts. and to really embrace this beautiful journey and how we're able to encounter and share with each other through time and space, and understanding what are we looking for, what are we really sharing, because if we're wallowing in our misery and we're walking around, are we sharing our misery? Is that something that we truly want to share? My job is to help and respect your choice. If you choose to suffer, that's your choice. Now, it's not to say unfortunate things don't happen. That's why we're here to help each other and do the best that we possibly can, and to learn our way through this, to be able to create the best experience that we possibly can. And the reality is that there's a lot of unnecessary suffering. Yes, there's a part of suffering in life, but there's a way out of suffering. There's a way out of making illusions feel so real. There's a part of becoming detached in a way where you're not so caught up in playing the roles, where you understand that those are roles. Those are hats that we're playing, and we play many different roles in life. And so when we get accustomed, and I know that there's a lot of different roles, and you play those roles for so long, you can get caught up in that role. But if you're getting caught up in that role, are you getting caught up in that illusion? Because is that who you really are? Is that who you're really supposed to be at this point in time? And this goes deep. So sometimes we just need to breathe. All right. So we're getting into the meditation and teaching meditation and its universal application, because it's universal. Meditation has been such a beautiful, beautiful gift in my life, where it's helped me tremendously, and I seek to share that with those who truly want to learn. And so I have a very unique experience developing myself in meditation and continuing to, where I can teach. I am a great teacher. Sitting with me for 10 to 15 minutes, your whole life may change completely for the better. Being able to just breathe. Be here now. Because we have everything. Clarity is power. So making a practice of sitting, of being with yourself, of feeling safe inside yourself, regardless of what storm may be brewing outside. You can be brewing some peace, some love, and know that you're safe inside your heart. Be sure inside your heart. Morning with self, waking up with Master Shane, having a lot of fun here, and building true confidence and self-esteem as we make commitments, make choices, decisions, and our commitments and our follow-throughs. We can do incredible, incredible things. and being able to build that self-initiative inside yourself, where you direct your own life, where you get off your butt and you do things. I offer activations, healings, and all this. And it starts with spiritual energy management consultation, where we do different assessments as well too. And the activation energy is incredible. It's helped me get off my butt and get off the couch and start to make something of myself, and to go in a beautiful direction, instead of just waiting around and waiting for things to happen. We use time as an excuse. And so you don't have to use time as an excuse. You don't have to use money as an excuse. These are resources. And what we're here to do is to open our eyes and to understand that we can create a map, just like a map of going to the gas station, going to Disney World, going on different trips. Like, we can plan different trips and different journeys. And what about spiritually? What about our dreams? Where do we really want to go? And how do we draw that map? We can sit down and we can draw that map. We can see how you're going to get there. We can break it down. We can go to the drawing board and we can have a beautiful, beautiful brainstorm of incredible ideas of solutions and things that we can do. So that's one of the things I help people with, is building that true confidence, that true self-esteem, as I have, in my ability to get things done and to do things, to move and shake in this world. I hope to use business as a force for good. And so there's a lot of good for us here to do. And it begins with us developing ourselves. Executive training and all this stuff are things that are down the pipeline. As things build, as we're building the dream team, because that's what we're building, the dream team. The dream team. We're really going to move and shake. So I am a consultant. I am a spiritual energy management consultant, and getting the courses out, getting the teachings out, using this YouTube channel to help and benefit people, and providing different products and services that do a lot of good in this world. And so as we build the organization, we're building the dream team, and we're building an incredible, incredible group. So if you're open, you're willing, and you're ready to work with me, contact me. Let me know, because I'm here for those who are open, willing, and ready. For those who are truly sincere inside of themselves, I'm here for you. And I understand that there's a lot of things going on inside the world, and it can be tempting to want to go to the woods and not have to deal with people because you feel things. And that'd be nice. I want to do that too. That's why people be asking me. It's like, I want to do what you do. I want to help people and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to go to the woods, and I want to live by myself and live in peace. I want to go to the forest, right? But no, I want to fulfill my purpose here. I have a lot of fun touching people. And that's the incredible part, is like you get strong inside yourself. You learn on true protection and everything. And it becomes very fun. And being able to interact with everybody. And that light is to be on that stand. We're here to shine our light. So healingholisticbeing.com, shine your way home, right? Like you can shine in the forest, you can shine in that, as much as I want to do that, as much as I could fantasize about that. I'm in that on my own island in my own way. And that's part of the healing journey. I know that's part of my path, is to be a beacon of light in on that stand, so that people know that I'm available. That's why we're doing this show every morning on the weekdays. We're building momentum, we're building content so that people know that Master Shane is here, that there is support here, true support and true help, and really recovering you spiritually and whole, and where you feel good inside yourself and you feel strong and confident to be able to go out in the world, to be able to do things and build things, even though people may try to take you down, even though people may try to get inside of you and control you. So that's why it's very important to build a strong foundation so that nobody can mess with you, and to be able to do what you truly feel is good inside of you so that you can lay your head down at night. That's something that we all are involved in, and we all have to be able to do if we want to get a good night's rest. Right? So, and there's a lot we're going to get into here. There's a lot to share. There's a lot of insight and self-knowledge to learn about. The internet may be filled with a lot of different information, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. We have all this information, so that's no longer the issue, because that was a different world back then. 50, 60 years ago, information wasn't so widely available for free. So we have to get into the price of our attention, the price of our time, because we only have so much time. And that's part of what we're learning here, on how to best use our consciousness, our attention, our light. And we've given ourselves this timeline in this life form. And we can transform and transmute. So that's what we're doing. We're having a beautiful, beautiful day. You got your goals, you got your objectives, your targets. Write those down day and morning, have a journal, doing some breathing exercises, doing some movement, having fun, celebrate, because it is done. How you feeling inside? That's the spiritual work. Keep the joy alive. I love you beyond the physical. Morning with self, waking up with Master Shane. We're waking up, keeping the movement going. So stay tuned, keep on tuning up, and receive from this testament so that you can become your own testament in your own life. And know that support is truly here, though we have to understand that we have to take care of ourselves, that we have to reach out at different points, that we have to ask, and it shall be received. What are we really looking for? We were looking for like self-pity, or we're looking to be a victim in life. And it's not to say that unfortunate things do not happen, but we have the power inside. We have a light inside that can bring us through anything that we may encounter in life. That's a very enriching spiritual journey that we're all on here. So things pass. So depression and all that stuff, it can pass. It will pass. And it can easily pass if we step out of it. We don't have to dwell in the sludge of life. We don't have to sit in the ickiness of life. So you may be feeling different things, and people may have gotten inside of you different things. I provide energy healing. I provide different services, and I'm here for you. So I'll working on everything and having fun and enjoying myself, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day. So let's give it our all, because today is all we have. And here we go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Hope to hear from you.